and I think I just turned off the new hearing aids put on the studio monitor. Now I can't hear you.
Because I'm not talking.
No, it's because I've got my deaf ass ears in the studio monitor and I turned it down because. Okay, so everything should be back where it's supposed to be. It's probably a little hot on the mic.
This is the way the switch.
And that's my mother with first blood. Oh! Let's do this. It's Friday. Let's do this. You're kidding me. No. Why did it freeze?
Oh my God. Anybody want to guess why we're laughing?
This one's for habeas.
He hadn't made any. We need a new badge for
best
creative names.
Best new name.
Oh God.
Lindsey Graham's Grinder account.
Now look, y'all, I just never found the right woman.
Gay.
Oh, Donald Trump should come down here and we'll whoop that ass. Yes, Lindsay. Yes.
Oh dear.
Yeah, oh dear indeed.
Good morning. Well, we weren't ready for that shit.
Yes, thank you, David. Lindsey Graham's Grinder account. Woo.
You, buddy. Let's say hey to some people, and then we'll get to some DGUs.
Your mom's here.
I know. First blood. Appreciate you, Ma. Appreciate you. Let's see Sean Stryker and Pitt. Danny, I should see you tomorrow morning. See James Wilbanks, Habeas Corpses. Lindsey Graham's Willabar's with us. Good morning, baby. There's Dan again. Sean Stryker is perplexed. And Megan, good morning, sunshine. So, Cameron flew solo yesterday while I got my new ears. Pity Steve's working all the time now because he'd appreciate me saying all I can think about now is Bob Builder, new shoes. Fortunately, I don't know if you even remember that one because I'm not sure. Rob Hova joins us. Good morning. So,
Rob,
good
you
job.
see that new Dragon Ball movie? Just answer in the chat. I'm not trying to.
Was it good?
Okay.
And my favorite Ninja Turtle, Matt Parks. Good morning, my man. All right, so what do we got this morning? We got us some DGUs.
It's Friday, baby.
You want to read the first one here, brother?
I would love to.
All right, this first one comes to us from, where does it come to us from? Prince George's County, Maryland. Oh, I don't need your classifier. There we go.
Burglar shot by homeowner during break-in. Resident also shot. Police? Police. Okay. I guess. Sure. A man was shot while breaking into a Hyattsville home. Semicolon. A resident of the home also was shot during the altercation, police say.
Oh, all right, Kristen. Time to start brushing up your resume.
I mean, well, the punctuation's technically correct, but golly, like
Only.
A break-in Tuesday shortly after midnight led to a homeowner shooting the intruder and a resident of the home being shot during the incident, police say. At approximately 12:20 a.m., Officers with the Hyattsville Police Department were dispatched to the report of a burglary in progress at the home, 600 block of 30th Avenue. When officers arrived, they saw a car attempting to leave the residence. Officers stopped. We'll get to the comments soon. Okay.
Biden's stenographer is the first act of medical evidence that Tourette's is congenital.
It's no more than a fly. What's no more than a fly, Joe? Anyhow, they saw a car attempting to leave the residence. Officers stopped the vehicle and found a man in the car with a gunshot wound. He was taken by ambulance to the hospital where he later died. He's been identified as 23-year-old Giovanni Hales. Giovanni Hales, and was a resident of the home. Wait a minute. A resident was trying to flee the scene and died of a gunshot wound? Boy, I almost told you to hit the DOT button, but might have been the wrong victory. Okay, the preliminary investigation reveals the suspect broke into the residence shortly after midnight. Officers found the suspect still in the home with a gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead on the scene. So it's a DRT.
We got one of those.
A gun was recovered near his body. He has not yet been identified by the police department. The PGPD investigates all homicides in the city of Hyattsville. God, I would hope so.
In fairness, the DeKalb County Police do not investigate all the homicides that happen there. They just don't have the
I was about
time.
to say, that's not because they don't want to. Anyhow, anyone with information about this case is asked to call, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, so we're missing a piece of this.
Yeah, we're missing a big piece of this somewhere.
Bad
we
guy's
have two
dead.
fatalities here, apparently. So
A resident of the home and the apparent bad guy, which makes me just wonder about a lot of things.
Did the resident kill the bad guy, suffer a gunshot wound, and then try to take himself to the hospital?
I don't know. You know what though? All things being equal, I'd still rather have the umbrella and it not rain.
Yep.
I'd still rather have the condom and she turns me down. It is what it is. So, and honestly, man, of all ways to go out, like, you go out, like, trading gunfire with a guy breaking into your home, like, I mean, hello, Valhalla. Like, it could be worse, right? Like, they're gonna be sad you're gone, but, man, your family's gonna be talking about you for years.
Well, and also, they're gonna be sad.
There's that.
They're gonna be here to be sad.
That's correct.
And that's a win.
Still though, like we might have to try and follow up on this one because this is weird. When we do these stories, I'm normally okay with just making a bunch of assumptions based on but this one is weird, man. Weird.
Okay. I'll take this next one. This one comes from Fulton County. Where the hell are we? Waterboro Live.
Tide.
Doesn't say where they are.
I mean, they've got all this ocean imagery. It's Florida or California. Probably Florida, since there's a gun involved.
It says Colton County, and then it says something about Georgia, but later in Georgia.
Whatever.
It's okay, so Colton County is somewhere.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at. So Colton homeowner shoots, kills one of two armed. Oh. A Colton County homeowner was shot and killed. Who shot and killed an intruder last week, not facing any criminal charges for the incident. This criminal investigation is still underway, and local authorities say it is not likely that the victim/homeowner will be charged. The victim homeowner's identity has not been released. On September 14th, the homeowner was inside Madison Street house near Waterboro at about 10 p.m. when two armed men tried to break into his home. The homeowner shot one of the men. Authorities who arrived to the scene found the suspect dead on the victim's front porch. That's what I'm talking about. When we arrived to the victim's house, the homeowner exited the home unarmed and confirmed he shot the man when he and another individual tried to break down his door, said Delaine Tyndall, spokeswoman for the Colton County Sheriff's Office. Both of the suspects were armed with a handgun, said Tyndall. The second would-be intruder fled from the scene in a dark-colored sedan. Is not yet been found as of press deadline. The suspect who was shot to death is identified as 25-year-old Brandon McDonald Sharp. Wow, that's a last name. Of Colton County, according to Colton County Coroner Richard Harvey. Sharp died at the scene from a gunshot wound, said Harvey. The homeowner cooperated with detectives, citing the location of the used firearm and providing footage from a home security camera. Detectives worked through the night to process said Tyndall in a written statement. Worked through the night to process the scene. Hey, officer, there's the gun. Here's the video of him dropping it there after I shot him from here because he doesn't belong here.
I would imagine that even in obvious
processing done.
Well, I would imagine in super obvious cases of self-defense, if there's a fatality, there's probably a lot of boxes you gotta check because you are still technically dealing with a homicide.
Yes.
It is one human being killing another. Now, be absolutely 100% justified, but this is one of those things where, and I'm even okay with you for making fun of it. I'm just going to be serious.
Oh, yes.
I'm just going to be
But there's a reason that the Bible says thou shalt not murder.
Right.
Any translation that uses the word kill instead of murder is
also, the suspect who was shot to death, Brandon McDonald Sharp.
Good luck.
Tangent. If you hyphenate your last name, that is just one of the most arrogant. Like they to me, they're almost a hyphenated last name is almost as aggravating and pretentious as a Ring doorbell on a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Like, shut the fuck up.
How many of those I see?
No,
actually,
I wouldn't.
You know,
I hate them.
They're not Ring.
I hate them.
They're not Ring. There is an absolute cottage industry of cheap knockoffs.
I refer to them as Ring doorbells.
But I know exactly what you mean.
But it's like seriously, like you live in an 800 square foot cracker, but it takes you longer to pull the app up on your phone and say, I'm coming, than it would for you to just get the fuck up and answer the door.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's the zombie apocalypse, nobody's licking your peephole. You can look through it.
So anyhow, hyphenated last names. Look, make a choice. Like, seriously.
Like Specialist Madison Lord.
I don't know Specialist.
Oh, she's the Disney Army princess with 2 mommies.
Oh. Woke Wednesday.
I'm making a point about the kind of people that have the hyphenated last name.
Yeah, it just, anyhow, small tangent, getting back to guns, but God, there's a person that we know.
And yes, Mother, the cheap knockoffs are, they are cameras, yes.
There's a person that we both know that not only had a hyphenated last name, but had a hyphenated hard to spell last name. And, like, the entire time we were in school, person, you can never fit my name inside the box. Shut up. Okay, shut up.
Hey, St. Michael's with us. And Danny joined us. Other Danny.
Danny, I love you, I love you a lot. She says if you ever come to my house, I'm talking to you exclusively through my Ring devices. Danny, please, I don't want to fight with you, and that might make us fight. Okay? Like, I can't. God, I hate them. I hate them. They're so protective.
Rob says Ring is fine for some cases, but you need CCTV or group of webcams. That's what I have. I have a series of cameras around my house that are motion activated with spotlights, and you know the Ring is cute, but let me tell you something. It's a good idea to have motion activated cameras mounted around your property, because please believe, every time we caught an RPG going through somebody's upper torso on camera, downrange, that was worth at least 4 bags of popcorn and a long night. Guaranteed.
Anyhow, it's my bad. My bad. I brought us down all the tangents. We should just get back to guns. We should just get back to guns.
Yeah, let's just go to the next story. I think we've had enough of it. Okay, so here's what I've done. I've flipped over to the next article, but we were on the wrong view. I switched it back so that it looks like that when you start your cuts. I did the last one. You want to take this next one? Alaska State Troopers. So we got this one coming out of the frozen tundra. Yeah. So
yeah,
here's our next DGU.
9-year-old boy seriously injured in Alaska brown bear mauling, bear shot dead by family member. Alternate headline: 9-year-old boy successfully defended from brown bear attack by family member.
Alternate headline: the Democrats have had their way, and there was no armed family member nearby to dispatch the angry mauling black bear.
Pretty sure it's brown.
Brown, whatever.
Fucking right.
Well, we were talking about Democrats being in charge. Black and brown are not different. They're all intellectually identical transvestites. They're the same thing.
Yeah. Sure thing. Anyhow, 9-year-old boy was seriously injured by a brown bear while hunting north of Anchorage. Alaska State Troopers Wednesday. Troopers said the bear attacked 2 people, a 41-year-old male and a 9-year-old boy, near mile 36 of Glen Highway at the end of Matanuska Town Site Road on Tuesday. The man and the young boy came across a brown bear and saw her cub while hunting. Ooh, that's what did it. That mama bear thing is real.
Yep.
The brown bear mauled the boy, leaving him with serious injuries. The adult who was accompanying the child was armed, shot, and killed the brown bear during the attack. Both hunters were taken to the nearby local hospital for treatment. Troopers say the 2 are related, but they have not specified how. Troopers also did not immediately release the name of the boy or his current condition. He was mauled by a bear. He's fucked up. Right?
Yeah. He's not dead, but he's not happy either.
Yeah, but he is not having a good day.
Okay, so our buddy John Byrne lived in Alaska for several years, and he said that even in Anchorage, everywhere you walk, people are wearing a great big handgun, a large caliber handgun everywhere they go. And it's, just walking down the street, walking into the bar, going to get breakfast, you wear a big handgun. It is not concealed. It's right there in the open for everybody to see, because you want to be able to draw it as quickly as possible. And it is because bears just wandering into town is a thing. It's got nothing to do with, peripherally, but it's not a big Second Amendment thing. It's a high crime area. You need to be prepared to deal with gangsters type of thing. No. I need enough pistol on my hip to deal with a bear just as a daily incidental.
Yeah. Troopers and the Alaska Department of Fish and Game are expected to be back in the area Wednesday to continue investigating, and they will perform a necropsy on the bear's remains Wednesday afternoon. Okay, again.
No.
Glad
it's a bear. You shot it. You don't need to perform a necropsy. You need to perform a barbecue.
Well, I mean, might not have just killed the bear, might have killed the cub as well.
So a large barbecue.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, but according to the Democrats, if you've been red flagged or you've been convicted of certain crimes, basically never visit Alaska because you're not allowed to.
Right.
I mean, and according
if
even
you've
to
been accused of certain crimes without evidence, you no longer have a right to life. That's what a red flag law is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, are you gonna bump into a bear every day? No.
Unfortunately, no.
No, fortunately. Are you gonna bump into a bear every day? No. But the fact that, if you could be convicted of a crime and then suddenly you were never allowed to have your First Amendment again, and people would have a problem with that. Like, oh, this law overreaches. And the other 10 amendments as well. Oh, you've been convicted of a crime, so you're no longer allowed to have like the Fourth and Fifth Amendment. You don't get to get presumed innocent or anything like that. Or
how about you've been convicted of a crime? You're no longer guaranteed the human right to protection against cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, but Second Amendment. Oh, you've been convicted of a crime? Well, I guess you can never have this constitutionally protected right again for the rest of your life.
And
gee, that's weird.
But violent felons. Hang them. Bad guys don't do bad shit.
Well, you wouldn't have to hang them.
They don't.
Well, look, the caricature of the Wild West is that there was just shootout after shootout after shootout. That's actually not what happened. See, because everybody was armed in the Wild West, the good guys, the bad guys, the neutral guys, the housewives, the everybody. That's right, the hookers, the everybody was armed. There was actually not a ton of violence in the Wild West.
In fact, you know how you spotted a hua in the Wild West?
Carried a Derringer?
It was concealed.
See, I see what you did there. That's kind of funny. That is definitely kind of funny. But yeah, because everybody was armed, there was actually a smaller proportion of violence. Also, like, you get into a fight trying to steal somebody's horse when you're 12 miles from town and have no water. The last thing you want to do is to be gut shot in New Mexico and just left there alive. That is, not the one you want.
All right, we are at 7 minutes out.
We can do one more.
We can do one more, and then I'm going to take a little extra time on the safety brief. Phoenix Metro News brings us this story. PD, home intruder shot, killed near 19th Avenue and Bell Road. Oh, that one. Yes. Wow, the pause button didn't do this girl any favors. Good morning, dear.
I didn't know she was there until she was there.
Police are investigating an overnight burglary that led to a deadly shooting in Phoenix. Officers were first called to investigate a residential burglary in the area of 19th Avenue and Bell Road around 10:30 p.m. Sunday. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
According to preliminary information, a man tried to break into a home in the area when the homeowner, a woman, fired a gun, hitting the intruder.
Wait, is this a pro-feminism story?
It is.
Oh.
It just got super pro-feminism. All right. We love the ladies, and that's why we get them guns. Police say the man was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. A police official at the scene said the man has since died. Oh, so it is that is a DOT, dead over there. Police took a self-defense statement from the homeowner. Police took a self-defense statement from the homeowner who fired the weapon, and she was released. The incident is still under investigation. Sounds like they got their shit figured out, though.
Okay, so this is Phoenix. This is coming out of Arizona, and Arizona is
home of Razor Fist.
Not only the home of Razor Fist, but legally on paper, they're the most gun-friendly state. Like, unless you've got like an active warrant against you, you just walk into the store and buy a gun, strap it to your hip, walk right back out. And they're cool with that in Arizona. However, there is a thing here that I think is interesting. This was written by an ABC affiliate. Notice that the potential victim was female. And it's very interesting that they use super specific language with a female victim.
Yep.
I can't help but wonder if this had been a guy defending his home, if there wouldn't be a whole lot more weasel words and gray area.
Right.
Like we've talked about this before, how some of these go so far as to say, the bad guy, the one who was trying to like rob the 7-Eleven getting shot. Well, the victim, no, he's not the victim. He was trying to rob a 7-Eleven.
Correct.
Okay. So I don't think this article would have gone that far because it seems to be pretty fucking cut and dry. You trying to break into somebody's house after dark? I mean, it is what it is.
I don't care what gender, race,
color, that's for the coroner to determine.
The homeowner is the homeowner.
Right. And then...
And I don't care what color, gender, race, whatever. The intruder is. You just broke into someone's home.
Yeah. I mean, no duty to retreat. None of that, but absolute castle doctrine. Okay? Like, no. This is one of the things I actually think the libertarians really got right. The whole NAP, the non-aggression principle. I do think there are some caveats that need to go into it. But when you're talking about interpersonal relationships,
yeah, it's a good general rule of thumb.
Yeah, and when you're talking about one-on-one, I think the Yin Yang Twins about 20 years ago came out with a song that really summed this up succinctly. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
Yes. But yeah, the NAP is there are definitely some incidental exceptions, but as a general rule of thumb, the non-aggression principle is actually a pretty good lens through which to examine a case like if you are the one who initiated violence,
you're probably in the wrong.
You're probably in the wrong, and you don't get to use the self-defense defense, right? That is not an active defense that's going to be made available to you because you initiated the violence. Now, there are some caveats there. Okay, we were arguing, and then we were throwing punches, and I threw the first punch, but then he drew a gun, and that changed my math. I would not have drawn my gun and killed him if he had not drawn a gun when I thought we were just engaged in a friendly bout of fisticuffs.
Friendly fisticuffs. Sure thing, pal.
Absolutely.
Look, all y'all can have that. All y'all can have that. I remember at my 21st birthday, which was almost 20 years ago, as of next week. But I remember at my 21st birthday, there were people that wanted to engage in friendly fisticuffs. And I was made fun of at my own birthday party for saying, "Oh, we are drunk. This is a bad idea." And I was
there.
No, you weren't.
Okay.
And I was made fun of. And then, I mean, literally within about 90 seconds of being made fun of, somebody that we both know had a broken nose. And it was a legit accident. But it didn't change the fact that he had a broken nose. Oh, they thought Cam was older than that? I'm going to choose to take that as a compliment.
St. Michael, I bet you thought I was older than that, too.
So anyhow, but yeah, and then Rob Hova says females are generally accepted as non-aggressive, so the left tends to freeze and question as to how to respond to this. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. Like, okay, the last thing that we want is like, we don't want to make the point about self-defense with guns good, but at the same time, man bad, woman weak, and I am woman, hear me, rawr, So I can see how they're.
Oh, Lindsey Graham's over here talking about his pink fuzzy handcuffs. Oh.
Yeah. So St. Michael says, I thought for sure you were older than that. And again, I choose to take that as a compliment.
I guess.
Oh, hell no, man. Are you kidding? The only reason I don't want to go ahead and be an old man today is, like, I don't want the existential dread of knowing there are more behind me than there are in front of me. But, like, I'm going to milk that old man thing for all it's worth. Why should you listen to me?
My mom points out, and I think you were there for this. We had my 21st birthday at Hooters, and 20 years ago, the Hooters we were having my birthday party at was the top rated Hooters in the country. Like, half the calendar girls came from there. They had
like Erica.
Yeah. They were the busy Hooters. They were the best Hooters in the country, and they had all these awards and accolades. And it just so happened that the annual swimsuit party thing was on my birthday. And so we went to Hooters for my birthday so I could buy my first beer, and my mother brought a cake.
Legal beer.
It was freaking excellent.
Oh, yeah, first legal beer. First.
Yeah, my first beer. So, let's, it's Friday, y'all. Okay, I got to wrap it up because I got to get down the road and get to work. It's Friday, so we'll do the safety brief, and we're going to be here for just a minute. I saw that Alex was watching, and I'm glad he is. Last night on the TPS report, Alex took it a step further, and I really appreciated it. The TPS report and the BFM both had quite a bit to say about the Dark Brandon speech. And 100%, Dark Brandon calling for violence had an obvious outcome. Now, the running commentary, the running narrative is that Donald Trump made calls for violence and that was going to result in people getting hurt.
That's right. He was divisive, all this stuff. Remember, they focused specifically on the fake news.
Yes.
Okay. But anyhow,
and all that was going to get people hurt. Except
kind of didn't happen.
Conservatives don't have a history of doing that. Quite to the contrary, however.
Conservatives are the fuck around and find out people.
For the last several years, we've seen things like, oh God, what, Maxine.
Oh yeah, you will harass them in the streets, and you will harass them at the gas stations. You go up to them
in the gas stations and in the restaurants, and you tell them they're not welcome. You tell them they're not welcome, and they have to go.
Yes, right. We are live for a few more minutes. We're almost done, but somebody asked if we were live. So,
yes.
So, like, share, subscribe.
So, there is a party that has a history of calling for violence. Maxine Waters came out and said, attack them, approach them and assault them at gas stations and in restaurants. And almost as soon as she said it, it happened. You had mobs going into restaurants, following elected officials into restaurants and chasing them out under threat of force. And then you had the baseball game shooting, where a Bernie supporter went and attempted to murder as many Republicans as he could. And at the time, and this still pisses me off, at the time, the entire media, including Fox News, who is not your friend, went out of their way to say, well, we can't blame Bernie for this. This is just one
isolated incident.
It's an isolated incident. It's a lone wolf. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
The Dark Brandon
It's not
thing.
just one guy. And then we had the whole Summer of Love. Dozens of people were murdered
Fiery,
by
but mostly
Democrat
peaceful.
voters
Fiery.
over the
Peaceful.
course of a year of burning down buildings and businesses. Dark Brandon comes out and makes his speech, and he has been just over and over and over. The right wing, the conservatives are semi-fascist because he thinks using that weasel word qualifier absolves him of the lie and softens the blow. They're extremists, they're monsters, they're violent. Where are they violent? Where has been the violence? You lying sack of shit. And he comes out and he makes these declarations. Now, Alex McDonald on his show last night did a great job of talking about what I'm about to talk about. And he pulled a clip from his show that was right after the Dark Brandon speech where he said, this is my prediction. This speech will lead to violence. Man accused of mowing down Republican extremist teen objects to bond. This sack of shit right here murdered a young boy. Murdered him over politics. He ran him down. He ran over an 18-year-old boy and murdered him. He was released on bond. And this sack of shit, is shocked that he had to pay a bond. Shannon Brandt, 41, was released on $50,000 bond Tuesday after being charged with vehicular homicide and leaving the scene of an accident in connection with the death of 18-year-old Taylor Ellingson. He's being charged with vehicular homicide. That's absolute horseshit. Everything about this is political. Because this man, he ran the kid over and killed him, and then called 911 and reported that it happened. And he told 911, in his words, what this man has done is he said he ran the kid over because the kid is a Republican, quote unquote, Republican extremist. And he claimed that the kid made a threat. Okay, here's the thing. You're in a car. So apparently there was a debate. They were arguing with each other at a bar. And the kid, let's go ahead and give some credence. We'll go ahead and give him just a little bit of play and assume that the kid made some sort of vague threat in the course of their conversation. Now, in all fairness to that leniency, let's remember this is a fucking communist, Biden voting Democrat sack of shit right here. And I'm tired of this language about turning down the temperature because the enemy is murdering people. This guy right here thought that, I'll just tell him that, he's a white supremacist. He's a Republican extremist, and he threatened me. Yeah, but then you went and got in a car and came back and murdered him. That's not vehicular homicide, my friend.
Murder.
That's premeditated, malicious murder. You made the cognitive choice to go and murder a kid, an 18-year-old boy. You didn't do it over, you did not do this over a political disagreement.
Yeah, this wasn't heat of the moment. This wasn't self-defense.
You did this. You did this because you were a psychotic cultist.
You know, St. Michael says that he would bet Mr. Shannon is an atheist. I'd say there's
pesos.
I said there's at least a 50-50 chance of that. And then our new fan, Past the French, says, should we ban cars now? I mean, that is the left's logic. You know, I just want to touch this real quick.
Just the gas-powered ones. Electric cars can't hurt you, honey.
I just want to touch this real quick. Remember when Richard Spencer got punched and everybody was like, "Woo, punch Nazis," and I'm like, "No, y'all are fucking up."
Yep.
And then we got accused of, no, that's the slippery slope fallacy. No. As soon as you accept that it is okay to just do violence against somebody based purely on ideology, not on actions, not on threats, not on intent, just ideology, you are starting a thing you are going to regret starting.
Let's take a satanic cult, for example. I'm not saying Satanists. That's a very different creature. A satanic cult worships the devil, et cetera, et cetera. And you decide to take up arms and hunt them down. If it's because they're engaged in human sacrifice and you're enforcing the law against murder, that's a very different thing than I don't like what you think. But this guy don't like what you think. And he's shocked. Right here, the quote from his court, as he was arguing during a court hearing on Monday, Brandt said he did not understand the charges against him and objected to the bail amount, saying that he was not a flight risk. I have a job, a life, and a house, and things that I don't exactly want to see go by the wayside. Family that are very important to me. You murdered a boy because he didn't vote for your guy.
No, who was, and I wonder how important his family was to him.
How important he was to his family.
Yeah, and look, Rob, we see your comments. I'm a believer that violence can and will sway you onto a different path. From a philosophical perspective, there's actually a lot there that I know that Chris and I both agree with. But we're talking specifically in a political context when we're all going to engage in the lie that is civilized society. But we see your comments, but that's a whole separate discussion. In this context, words are the substitute for violence. So that's what we're talking about here. Now, but as far as this kid is concerned, and I mean, going back to Richard Spencer and the Nazi punching thing, like, I guarantee you, Mr. Shannon thought, you know what? Somebody's got to be brave enough to do this. This kid is just a ticking time bomb. There was some justification inside his mind that allowed for this.
Yeah. Yes, dear.
We're being told to.
So you see the picture of look at this monster. Look at this radical extremist terrorist. Stochastic terrorist. The child. First responders who arrived on the scene in an alley near Johnson Street and Jones Avenue in McHenry found Ellingson, who was taken to hospital and pronounced dead. Responding deputies.
So he was drunk.
Then tracked Brandt to his home in Glenfield, located about 12 minutes away. 41-year-old allegedly admitted to drinking alcohol before hitting Ellingson and initially leaving the scene of the crash. Brandt said he later returned to call 911 but took off again before cops arrived. Wow, he fled the scene twice. And he was drunk.
He was over yeah. Yeah, 0.08 for most adult men is 4 plus, just so can be as little as 2, depending on your body size.
So here's your safety brief. Your government is currently controlled by people. And don't expect me to rely on vagary and anonymous sources to make the claim. Unanimous sources, yeah. And anonymous sources to make the claim. Joe Biden's campaign staffers, Kamala Harris personally and her campaign staffers, and nearly every elected Democrat current actively funded the Summer of Love, actively paid money to get criminals out of jail throughout the year of Black Lives Matter terrorists, establishing strongholds, conducting an insurgency, burning down buildings and murdering dozens of people across the country. That there is one party that engages in violence is a certainty. Go thee girded into that brave world, my friend.
Oh, you still can.
And as soon as the law says that you cannot, when bananas are outlawed, only outlaws will eat bananas.
That is correct.
And I'm a smoker, so I need my bananas to replace that potassium.
Sure thing, pal.
So, don't drive drunk, don't fry bacon naked, and don't murder people because you're a shithead drunk who votes for Democrats. Don't be a commie. Be a good guy. We love you. We'll see you Monday.
Monday.
Buttons. That one.